Janelle Stelson spoke to the crowd a short time ago. Of course, this is not only watched in Pennsylvania, this 10th district race also watched across the country. This is a seat that Democrats think they may be able to take away from Scott Perry, a six-term incumbent. With me now is Janelle Stelson. First of all, congratulations, Janelle.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
I have to ask you your emotions. This is the first time you've entered politics. So what are they right now?
Well, I was really hopeful all day. I heard great things when we were out knocking doors and talking to people in the phone banks, but it's the kind of thing where you're almost afraid to believe the good news you've been getting. The polling looked really good for us, and I am just, I talked to Eugene DePasquale early on, who I understand is also a winner tonight, and he said it's not about the candidate, it's about the campaign. So to see all these people, we're not on camera right now, but people are crying. They're so excited about the possibility of taking down Scott Perry.
Scott Perry is a six-term incumbent. He has plenty of support in the district. Yeah. Why do you think you would make a better representative of the constituents than him?
Okay, do you have all night? Because I could go down his record for you. People have been calling him Congressman Chaos because he's not getting anything done for us in Congress. He votes time and time again, not only against the middle class, but our seniors and their health benefits. He's taken all of these votes, even against his own military veteran brother and sisters. And I promise everybody watching tonight that I will look out for us. I've been listening to our stories for 38 years, and I understand the issues and the concerns all the way around the Susquehanna Valley, and I will take those voices to the halls of Congress.
Some of your Democratic opponents pointed out the fact that you were a registered Republican for 20 years. Why did you switch to the Democratic Party and not run against Perry in the Republican primary?
Well, I registered a long time in the party that my parents were in, and as you know, we have a job that requires us to be absolutely nonpartisan on the local news. So it didn't matter. I voted the way I voted behind the scenes, and when I got serious about running for office, I did it in the party that I voted.
They also said you're not experienced going to Washington. How do you counter that? What can you do?
Nobody's experienced till they get experience. Come on now. But I think one of the most important things is the whole listening aspect. You can't overstate how important that is. And the fact that, I can carry those concerns to Congress.
Will you move into the district?
Sure. I've lived in 6 places around the district, so I know it very well. 4 in Dauphin County, 1 in Susquehanna Township, Cumberland County, Camp Hill, and New Cumberland, so that's not an issue.
Is there a key issue that you think you'll be running against Scott Perry on, and will you debate him too?
Oh, absolutely. I would relish any debate Mr. Perry would like to have. I'm very well aware of his record. As you know, we've been covering him for the past 12 years and as a state lawmaker before that. So, his record speaks for itself. I think once people hear how extreme it is, we'll see how it goes.
Janelle, thank you very much for joining us. Once again, Janelle Stelson, winner of the Democratic primary here in the 10th District of Pennsylvania, a race closely watched throughout Pennsylvania and the country. She will challenge Scott Perry. A lot of other Democrats have tried in recent years. He has withstood those challenges. We'll be following this race very closely. For now, I'm Barbara Barr, live in Hershey. Send it back to you guys in the studio.
Barbara, thank you. And Stelson's opponent this November, they were talking about him quite a bit there. Republican incumbent Scott Perry released a statement just within the past hour about tonight's results. He said in part, quote, "My opponent seeks to continue the burden of the destructive Biden agenda on the people of the 10th Congressional District while refusing to even move to the district amongst her other radical leftist ideologies."
Now, Mike O'Brien was Stelson's closest challenger on the Democratic ticket. He finished second. Newsday's Tom Lehman joins us now live from his watch party in Camp Hill, Cumberland County. And Tom, I understand O'Brien just conceded there.
Yeah, Mike O'Brien went before a lot of his supporters here tonight and simply said that the fight's not over. They want to make sure that they continue to support the Democratic candidate in this race, that being Janelle Stelson in this case. But O'Brien said, honestly, he was very proud about the effort that his staffers, his volunteers put in over the last several months. Obviously, they're a little disappointed in what ended up happening tonight, but again, O'Brien himself said that he's pretty proud of the fact that they were able to build a sort of coalition amongst a lot of Democrats and leaders here in the 10th District, and he says that took a lot of work.
It was obviously a long 7 months. It's been a long day today as well, but I couldn't be prouder of the energy that I see here and the work that's been put into this, especially from a lot of the volunteers that are out there that are helping at the polls today, that have been canvassing, and honestly that have kind of coalesced around our movement.
O'Brien also thanking a lot of the voters who cast a ballot for him today, saying that obviously wherever he ended up in this particular primary election was all due to them. Again, O'Brien conceding to Stelson in the Democratic primary race for the 10th Congressional District here in Pennsylvania. But O'Brien, by the way, a recent person who moved into the district, he also said that he plans to stay here. He pledged that he was going to stay in South Central PA, that voters here have not seen the last of him. In Camp Hill, Tom Lehman, WGAL News 8.